Sabrina Carpenter's brand new album, Man's Best Friend, isn't just another release, it's an event. The moment it landed, the internet turned into a battlefield of hot takes, wild theories, and fan wars. Some praised it as her boldest move yet, while others claimed she'd gone too far. And at the heart of it all lies one burning question. What secrets and heartbreaks are really hidden in her lyrics? This isn't just about catchy hooks and glossy production, it's about an artist deliberately stirring chaos, forcing everyone to pick a side, and maybe even exposing the painful truth about her most high-profile breakup. And as fans comb through every lyric, every music video, and every interview slip-up, the bigger picture starts to look like the most daring chapter of her career yet. But to understand why Man's Best Friend has everyone divided, we have to start with the controversy that came before the music even dropped. The Man's Best Friend era exploded before a single track even dropped, and it all started with one shocking image. When Sabrina Carpenter revealed the album cover, kneeling on the floor as a man holds her by a leash, the internet went into immediate overdrive. Critics wasted no time calling it regressive, claiming she was pandering to the male gaze and reinforcing outdated gender stereotypes. For many, it felt like a step backwards at a time when female pop stars are constantly pushing to redefine control over their own image. Yet, the reaction wasn't one-sided. Her most loyal fans quickly rose to defend her, arguing that the cover was pure Sabrina, sharp, layered, and dripping with satire disguised as pop provocation. Instead of backing down in the face of outrage, Sabrina doubled down. In a move that only fueled conversation, she released alternate covers, including one captioned, "Approved by God." That single line turned what was meant to be an insult into a punchline, flipping criticism on its head and showing she wasn't afraid to mock the controversy. It was a bold reminder that she was in charge of her own narrative. Not the critics, not the tabloids, and not even her most passionate fan base could dictate how she presented herself. For Sabrina, the cover wasn't just an aesthetic choice. It was a declaration of control, proving she could stir global debate with a single photograph. But just when people thought the backlash had peaked, Sabrina raised the stakes even higher. The album's release party took place at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, a historic landmark that left many stunned at the symbolism. To some, it was an edgy and respectful nod to Hollywood history, home to figures like Judy Garland, while to others, it felt like another outrageous stunt. Sabrina herself explained the decision as intentional, calling it both a funeral for her past album and the birth of a new era. It was a daring statement, blending theatrical visuals with personal reinvention, and it made one thing clear: the Man's Best Friend rollout wasn't about playing it safe. It was about keeping the world talking. If the album cover shocked people, the music video for Tears set the internet on fire. Sabrina Carpenter leaned all the way into theatrical chaos, transforming the screen into a neon-lit fever dream inspired by cult classics like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. With bold choreography, over-the-top styling, and an unapologetic embrace of camp, the video felt like a declaration. This wasn't bubblegum pop anymore. Sabrina was deliberately breaking out of the mold, showing fans and critics that she was willing to take risks that few mainstream artists even attempt. One of the most talked-about moments came from the surprise cameo of actor Colman Domingo, who appeared in full drag and instantly became the centerpiece of conversation. His appearance wasn't just a guest spot, it was a statement about self-expression, freedom, and dismantling the rigid gender norms that so often box pop culture into predictable corners. Fans flooded social media with praise, calling the collaboration groundbreaking, while detractors once again argued that Sabrina was chasing shock value. Either way, the attention was massive, and the video became a lightning rod for debate. By the end of Tears, it was clear that this era wasn't built for comfort. Sabrina wasn't handing her audience pretty visuals to consume passively. She was demanding a reaction, good or bad. Every frame was designed to spark conversation, and judging by the heated debates online, it worked flawlessly. The Tears video wasn't just a music clip. It was a cultural flashpoint, solidifying Sabrina's reputation as a pop provocateur unafraid to blur lines between art, sexuality, and satire. And naturally, with visuals this bold, fans were desperate to know what secrets were hiding inside the lyrics. The heart of Man's Best Friend lies in its songs, and fans wasted no time pulling apart every lyric for clues about Sabrina's love life. The leading theory? That her year-long romance with actor Barry Keoghan, which ended late last year, is the invisible thread running through the album. In tears, Sabrina finds herself turned on by the simplest gestures: a man building an IKEA chair, offering respect, showing responsibility. The irony is heavy. Gestures so small feel revolutionary when they're missing from a relationship. It paints the picture of a partner who failed to show up in the ways that mattered most. My man on Willpower dives even deeper into frustration. Once clingy and adoring, this partner suddenly transforms into someone distant, detached, and unrecognizable. Stranger danger becomes more than a line. It's a feeling of betrayal. A man who once couldn't get enough of her suddenly acting like intimacy is a burden. In Nobody's Son, the narrative shifts into resignation. The song quotes a breakup dressed up as self-improvement. I think it's time we took a break so I can grow emotionally. It's the kind of excuse that's been used 1,000 times, but Sabrina sharpens it into heartbreak poetry. And then there's Go-Go Juice. This track flips the tone, cheekily pointing to exes she might drunk dial after a few too many drinks. With names rhyming suspiciously close to Shawn Mendes, Dylan O'Brien, and Barry himself, fans are convinced it's her sly way of acknowledging her past flames without saying it outright. By the time we reach Final Goodbye, the tone turns cold. "Did you forget that it was you who said goodbye?" Sabrina sings, leaving no doubt that this wasn't her choice. The goodbye wasn't temporary, it was final. But the speculation didn't end with the lyrics. Soon, Sabrina herself found her words under the microscope, thanks to an interview that put her in the hot seat. When Sabrina Carpenter sat down with Gayle King on CBS Mornings, it instantly became one of the most talked-about interviews of her entire career. Unlike many interviewers who tread lightly, Gayle went straight to the point, naming Barry Keoghan directly and asking Sabrina if the songs on Man's Best Friend were really about him. For fans, it was the question they had been waiting for, the one everyone had been speculating about since the breakup. But Sabrina didn't flinch. She kept her composure and explained that her songs are meant to be mirrors for listeners, not confessionals tied to one specific person. In her view, the power of music comes from letting fans project their own experiences onto her lyrics. Gayle, however, wasn't done pushing. She asked if Sabrina felt any responsibility for the backlash Barry had faced online from her passionate fan base. Sabrina's response was calm but firm. She reminded everyone that she never said the songs were about him in the first place. She acknowledged that she's always been open about writing from her relationships, but she made it clear that she doesn't owe the public a detailed explanation of who every lyric references. To Sabrina, men should feel honored to inspire art, not cornered by speculation or treated like victims of her storytelling. Still, fans watching couldn't ignore the tension. Sabrina's polite smile didn't quite match the flicker in her eyes, and viewers picked up on that subtle frustration. Then came the unexpected slip. She casually referred to Man's Best Friend as her first album, despite it being her 7th. Whether it was nerves, sarcasm, or simple exhaustion, the comment spread like wildfire across social media, fueling endless debate. Was it a mistake or another cheeky move to get people talking? Either way, the interview ensured that the drama around this era wasn't just confined to the songs, it was following Sabrina everywhere. And with her words dissected as closely as her lyrics, fans couldn't wait to see how the album itself would hold up under the weight of all this attention. The release of Man's Best Friend didn't just bring new music, it brought an avalanche of opinions. Reviews poured in almost instantly, and just like the controversial cover art, the reception was sharply divided. On one side, critics praised the sparkling production, a slick blend of disco-pop grooves, reggae-light rhythms, and nostalgic 80s synths. Many called it Sabrina Carpenter's most confident sound yet, applauding the way she turned heartbreak into something you could dance to. For fans who followed her journey, it felt like a defining moment where she finally carved out her own space in pop. But not everyone was convinced. Some critics argued that beneath the glittery production, the writing leaned too heavily on witty one-liners and clever rhymes, sacrificing emotional depth for Instagram-ready captions. To them, the album felt like a roller coaster of catchy hooks without enough soul to hold it together. Still, even the harshest reviews admitted one undeniable truth. Sabrina has mastered the art of provocation. Whether you loved the record or found it polarizing, you couldn't ignore it, and that's exactly what keeps her at the center of every conversation. And maybe that was Sabrina's strategy all along. She's not chasing universal approval, she's deliberately sparking debate, making sure her music isn't just played but argued about, dissected, and remembered. As she told Teen Vogue, her songs aren't meant for everyone, and that honesty may be what sets her apart in today's crowded pop landscape. With Man's Best Friend, Sabrina Carpenter has transformed from rising star to full-fledged lightning rod. Every choice she made, whether the leash cover, the cemetery release party, or her refusal to name names, signals an artist who knows how to command attention. And in a world where controversy equals currency, she might just be one of the richest voices in pop today. At the end of the day, Man's Best Friend is more than just an album, it's a cultural moment. Sabrina Carpenter has blended heartbreak, spectacle, and satire into a body of work that refuses to be ignored. The cover art sparked outrage, the cemetery release party fueled debate, and the lyrics invited endless speculation about her breakup with Barry Keoghan. Whether you view the imagery as empowering or problematic, or whether you believe the songs are aimed at Barry or not, the fact remains. Sabrina has created an era where the conversation is just as important as the music itself. And that's where her genius lies. Man's Best Friend isn't confined to streaming platforms. It's alive in the think pieces, the TikToks, the trending hashtags, and the endless debates happening in comment sections like this one. Sabrina has turned her own life into a stage, her artistry into a mirror, and her fans into participants in the performance. She knows that in today's pop culture, relevance doesn't come from silence. It comes from stirring the pot and forcing people to pick a side. So the real question is what history will say about this chapter. Will Man's Best Friend be remembered as Sabrina Carpenter's boldest triumph, the moment she claimed her place as pop's most daring provocateur? Or will it be remembered as an era that burned too hot too fast? One thing is certain, Sabrina isn't asking for permission, and she isn't looking back. This album is only the beginning, and if this rollout proved anything, it's that whatever comes next is going to be even louder, even bolder, and impossible to ignore. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. It really helps the channel grow and makes sure you never miss the next upload.